Hi guys, follow me on Instagram to never ever miss any of my crazy updates. Hi guys and welcome to another vlog. This is the Skoda Laura. This is the Skoda Rapid. Years apart, but let's talk about the Laura. Now this is of course the diesel. You can hear it right now. It's got a body kit, it's got massive lights. I actually love the design of this, not of the facelifted model, because they curved the lights. It didn't look that good. You can see the lights are nice. It got a projector setup, headlamp washer, front parking sensors, massive fog lights, cornering lights. In order to open the hood, well, you need to pull this like that and then you can raise it and there it opens. It doesn't get hydraulic struts, but this thing can be put here. It's so hot right now. Anyways, TDI motor, and of course it's making a lot of noise because the motor is not that refined. Now they had two engines, one was the PD and one was the TDI. TDI came in later, 2-liter TDI. Definitely good performance, 140 horsepower. Meanwhile the PD actually produces 110 horsepower. Installation has been given over here, and yeah, I don't know why the motor is not refined at all. It makes so much noise. So here is the car, the design. The wheels, they seem to be one from the VRS, the Rally Sport version. 225, 45, 17, sporty body kit, side skirts as well on this car. Lauren and Clement written here, which happen to be the top variant, named after the founders of the company. The design is really very nice. It looks very dope, very nice indeed. In fact, when you come to the rear, again, typical Skoda lights. Laura, but LA has fallen, so it's Jura. I don't know what that means. And there's a rear spoiler, so full body kit here in the rear as well. Rear parking sensors too, and definitely the car looks very nice. No reverse parking cameras unfortunately over here. So this is the boot. Both the rear tailgate as well as the boot opens, and it's making some noise. So I'm kind of worried if everything is working fine or not. Okay, so yes, a lot of VRS here. You see VRS pillows as well. Boot is massive. It's absolutely mind-bogglingly massive, and there is a space saver spare wheel, which doesn't get an alloy. It's a Bridgestone tire. Others are not Bridgestone, it's Michelin, but this thing does not seem to be working. Yeah, it's falling on its own. There's a light placement there, there's a light placement there. Let it fall on its own. There it closes. Anyways, kind of looks under tired somehow. 225, 45, 17, still under tired. How does that work? I don't even understand. Get a sunroof. Overall design looks nice. Let's get into the rear seat. Doors are solid, really very nice. And over here obviously you get door pockets which are decent sized, and you get a sound system which just says sound system. It doesn't say anything else. Seats are nice, leather seats, but the leather is kind of wrinkled, and adjustable headrest here completely. Just telling you about the VRS. Look at this VRS written. It's not a VRS, you just get the body kit from the VRS, which has been put aftermarket. Here there's good amount of space on offer aftermarket. The entertainment system here, and I don't know how that works. Power, come on, get on. No, I don't know how that works. Now obviously it's scooped out seat back, magazine holders, AC vents here, and over here there's storage space as well. Quite a practical cabin. In fact, there's good amount of space, good amount of headroom, good amount of knee room. There's a handle to hold on to on both sides, and obviously under thigh support is kind of poor because the seat is on the lower side, but hey, who cares about the rear seat? Let's get into the driver's seat right away. Now this is to open the power windows. Obviously one touch up and down, and you know what, it's very funky and nice. I actually like the way it works, but the doors are obviously solid. When you close it, you can hear something close. This is the rear spoiler, which kind of looks wicked. Anyways, getting into the driver's seat, the mirrors are nice and cute. There's a lot of space to keep stuff. There's so much space. There's already so many things kept. I don't think anything more can be kept. This has more space than my library at home. I don't have a library at home any which ways. As you can see, these are the controls for the power window. These are the controls for the outside rear view mirrors. Chrome door handle here, and obviously electric adjust for the driver's seat. Along with memory function, you can save the settings of 3 people over here. Seat is very wrinkled. That is Neha, who actually has earned the car for me. So thank you so much. And the person who lent us the car is Irfan. He runs a garage, and you can check more about him in the pinned comment. Anyways, you can see the steering. It gets a 4-spoke treatment, and over there is a nice dead pedal. Obviously these are controls for the headlights. Meanwhile, it's making so much noise, this car somehow. Anyways, we're inside, and this is the glove box of this vehicle. These are the controls for obviously the air conditioning, and the air conditioning works really well. This for the tire pressure monitoring, this is for traction control, and this for heated seats as well. So it gets plenty of features, and this is for the audio system. So this audio system is kind of like nothing much to talk about. Obviously it doesn't get touchscreen. It's a Skoda auto audio system. It says audience MP3, and overall audio quality is good, but it does not get a reverse parking camera. Right now I'm putting in reverse parking camera. Reverse parking camera does not work. The traction control has been turned off, and over here there's storage space as well to keep nicks and knacks, and right now there is some nick and knack. Anyways, you get a perfume here which is aftermarket, auto dimming inside rear view mirror, and over here you get a light as well as a mirror. Same is the case over here as well, light as well as a mirror. Meanwhile, over here there's storage space which happens to be for the sunglass, and this is to open the sunroof of the vehicle. Yeah, the sunroof isn't that big. Like this, you turn, it opens like that, and yeah, it's decent size. Skoda have been bigger. It's like really small. It makes some noise as well, just to tell you that it is present. It doesn't open more than this. I don't think my head will go through, but Annabelle's small head will definitely go through that. So overall, ambience of the cabin is nice. I love the fact it's completely black. It looks sporty. It looks nice. The horn is nice. Over here you get heated steering wheel as well. I believe that is the sign for it. I don't know what it means. Anyways, there are a lot of controls for audio, and definitely there's a multi-information display as well. But the system is a little basic, the instrument cluster. But you get all the important details on the right. You get a speedometer on the left. You get a tachometer, and in the center we obviously get the temperature meter along with the fuel meter. And over here you get a lot of other things like trip meters, odometer, obviously gas selector, outside temperature. My seat is getting heated right now. What is wrong with you?
Because you were trying to fidget with my seats.
Whatever. Anyways, let's start driving this car right away, because as you can see over here, this is to lock and unlock the vehicle. Yeah, that's placed there. There's a cigarette lighter here, twin cup holders here. This is the handbrake of the vehicle. The storage space here as well. This happens to be the ashtray. Meanwhile, over here, another front center armrest. There's space to keep stuff along with something. I think this might be for the cooling function. There's a spoon over there, which I think is optional. Here we are getting into drive mode. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, and off we go, turning off the air conditioning. And let me tell you straight away that this 2-liter diesel engine is obviously very good in terms of performance. I believe the TDI badge is wrong there on the engine. This should be the 1.9 PD motor, because that's how it's behaving in terms of performance. Alright, we're all set to go. Getting into sport mode directly. Turning off ESP. Left foot on the brake. Oh, air conditioning off as well. Revving the motor. Rev still only 1500 RPM, and off we go. Little bit of drone. And 4,500 RPM is where the red line is. Performance is, I would say, average, not that great. This motor is a truck's engine in this car. The Octavia has been a brilliant car, but when they named it Laura, they absolutely messed everything for it. I mean, why would you name something known as Laura in an Indian market where, you know, obviously meanings come out of certain things? Anyways, that aside, let me tell you, when this car was actually launched, the pre-facelift, it was known as one of the most beautiful cars on earth. Maybe Skoda paid for that award, whatever, but I honestly like the pre-facelift a lot. The design is quite nice. And let's stop here, and okay, noise coming from here. Left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor, and off we go. So this motor has some amount of lag, and the mid-range is strong, but the top end is not that great. Red line's at around 4,500 RPM. Overall performance is good, but the motor is like really very vocal. You can hear a lot inside the cabin, and the shifts are pretty fast thanks to this DSG gearbox. So overall, in terms of gearbox, certainly it's great, and a lot of features as well. Performance is nice for the most part, but it's just the noise is just too much inside the cabin. NVH isn't that great. Handling is good, but the steering is obnoxiously heavy. The steering is so heavy, I feel like I'm actually not operating a steering, I'm operating barbells here, because I mean, it is really very heavy. Now obviously hydraulic steering is one of the reasons why the steering is massively heavy, but it gives a lot of feel and feedback. Remains glued to the road at higher speeds as well, and ride quality is also very nice. Body roll is very well contained. In fact, the go fast version of this, the Laura VRS, was an absolute hoot. I remember driving a blue one, and when I drove it, I was just smiling all throughout. That was the level of performance. So now for now, the ground clearance is on the lower side, and overall aerodynamics are pretty good in this car, but it doesn't feel light like the latest sorry, I was going to say Laura. It doesn't feel light like the latest Octavia. It feels heavy. There's some heft to this car. It's a little bit like a muscle car. I know that's a little bit overstretched for my liking right now. Now this car was actually launched in 2005, was on sale for 4 years. In 2009 they came up with the facelifted model, and then in between, I think with the pre-facelift only, they replaced the engine. They came up with the 2-liter TDI. The 1.9 was said bye-bye, but the 1.9 was very frugal as well, and so was the 2-liter TDI, but I believe the 1.9 was even more frugal. Lesser power, 110 horsepower, which is not much. Supremely vocal. Once you get into the mid-range, you can hear everything and more. And there we are. The speed breaker. Brakes are really very nice. In spite of this car being super old, almost 1 lakh kilometers, brakes work really well. Yeah, effort to turn around, get into the throttle. Little bit of wheel spin, not much as such. I don't even know why they gave it ESP. It doesn't need any sort of ESP, because at the end of the day, it doesn't make as much power as you would expect. And the brakes, like I told you, are strong. So here we are, hard onto the brakes. Yeah, I think the whole shelf fell down right now. I'm so sorry for that. This spot actually irks me out, because here the Yeti failed. So I'm just going to do one thing. I'm going to stop here, turn off the car, and see if this car fails or not. Should we try? No. Okay, left foot on the brake, right foot on the throttle, and there's so much lag lower down. The DSG gearbox actually sucks when it comes to get go, because it's like sleeping. It's like in deep sleep, and then you're like, "Arey, chalo, get up now," and then it gets up and like, "Okay, let's get going." Slight amount of bouncy feel at higher speeds, but I really can't complain much for such an old car. It actually puts modern cars to shame. That is the level of chassis balance and poise. That's the level of steering feel. And you don't believe me? Check this out. It is so freaking poised. It's so balanced. It's so natural. It's just so freaking amazing. Obviously, when this was launched, it was priced very attractively. Now the Octavia is the most expensive car in the segment, but the Laura, which happens to be actually the second generation of the Octavia, which is called as the Laura in India, because Skoda was wanting to sell both the first as well as the second generation cars side by side without having to discontinue the first generation model, because they thought, oh, why not launch a rider version of the first generation Octavia and public will buy into it. But you know, obviously Indians are not fools, nobody bought it, and they had to finally get rid of it, and the Octavia nameplate had to come back, and that was a given. Overall, yeah, it gets boomy inside somehow. It reminds me of the truck which I was driving yesterday. No, I was not driving a truck yesterday, but I'm just bluffing. But I can tell you how much noise it makes. Anyways, here we are, left foot on the brake, right foot on the accelerator, revving the motor. Come on. The drone is like maddening, and there is no torque steer, there is no torque on offer, there is nothing. Look at this. It is just so lethargic in terms of punch. I mean, it takes almost 12 seconds to go from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour, which is, I would say, fine, not that great. However, the car was absolutely brilliant in terms of value for money package at that time. Now, the Skoda Octavia is no longer a value for money package, but back in the day, it was value for money. It had a lot of features on offer, and definitely a ride and handling balance which can put cars to shame today. So, guys, this is my review of the Skoda Laura. I think it's a brilliant car, and if you can find one, you can definitely buy one. But then again, parts availability could be an issue in this vehicle.